So I get asked a lot, why do I use the term dreaming? Why do I use the term dreaming for the work that it is that I'm doing, particularly when people get a sense of what dreaming is, right? Dreaming is about ownership of the creative control that you have in your life, the freedom that you have to create your life in the way that you want. It's about living lucidly, not about sleepwalking or daydreaming. And so it seems like it's almost the opposite of the word dreaming. Why do you use the word dreaming? Well, there are a lot of reasons why I use the word dreaming, which is why I use the word dreaming. But they're pretty well exemplified by the difference between Western and Eastern approaches to learning how to lucidly dream. So in the West, you'll do something, one of the first exercises that you'll do if you want to lucidly dream is called reality checking. And reality checking is basically just figuring out, am I sleeping or am I awake? So there are a number of different ways to do that, but one of them is you prime yourself during the day to just check, am I dreaming right now? So maybe every time you go through a door frame, you just ask, am I dreaming? Or every time you walk down the stairs, you take a look at your hands. When you're sleeping and dreaming, then your hands do weird things, like they melt away. It's hard for them to maintain their shape. But if you're awake and you look at your hand, oh, there's your hand, right? So that primes you to check. And then when you're sleeping and you look at your hand and it melts away, then you know, I'm lucid. I'm lucidly dreaming right now. In the East, and particularly in the Tibetan tradition of dream yoga, you do almost the exact same thing, but it has the opposite purpose. So instead of asking, am I dreaming, i.e., am I asleep in my bed right now, or am I awake in life, you begin to pay attention while you're awake to the dreamlike qualities of waking life. So what does that mean, the dreamlike quality of waking life? Well, every experience that you have is transient. Every experience that you have is insubstantial. It comes and it goes. And so you start to get used to this fleeting sense of experience of the world around you, that you really can't find any solid thing in the world. Everything comes and then it goes. The meaning that you give to events in your life, the meaning that you give to objects, it's all imputed. It's being given to them by you. And when you start to notice this, you start to gain some measure of creative control over that activity. And so one way to begin to pay attention to this dream-like quality of waking life, is to ask, where did your breakfast go? In your experience right now, where did your breakfast go? So you had breakfast this morning, or you had a meal in the past. Just whatever the last meal is that you had. You have the memory of eating it. You can even maybe taste the food. You can feel it in your mouth. You can smell it cooking or being brought to you. So where did it go? It was there, you remember it, and then it just kind of disappeared. So that is one of the things that's being pointed to by the dreamlike quality of waking life. So dreaming, in the way that I'm using the word, rests on that dreamlike quality of waking life. Why? Because when you start to notice that, then you start to gain some measure of activity around it. You can actively dream yourself into being. You get to choose the way that you show up, what it is that you're putting out into the world. And when we do that together, and this I think is the potential of this moment, when we start to do that together, not just in our own individual lives, but in connection with each other, in relationship, and in relationship to the ways in which we are building the world around us, then we gain an unimaginable creative power. And I don't think we even know what's going to come out of that. But that's why I use the term dreaming. We are actively dreaming this world around us into being. So what's the world that we're bringing into being?